Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu. I'm the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are programming. Finally getting around to fixing this website of mine. It's been something that I've wanted to do since debut, and well, here we are. What was it, 4 months later? 3 months later? Almost been... No, it's been about 4 months. I started back in October. So anyway, this is the website here. And we are going to fix this. Hello, 539, welcome in. How are you all? I hope your sculpting class went well. But yeah, we have this website here. It's written in a static sites generator called Zola. That's what I forgot to put up. Get Zola. Zola is a great static site generator. It's very simple, single binary. I think it's written in Rust. And so it's very easy to use, except the things that I ended up doing with my website, and I think it's partly because of the theme that I used. So I'm using this theme called Goose, this yellow thing. And not to say anything bad about the dev, but it seems like it's not written to my web standards. A lot of pixel lengths in the CSS, and it's written with desktop first, which I don't mind desktop first too much, but I think the general standard is to go for mobile first. But basically what happened here is that I have this juice theme, I put it in, and then what do I have? I have a single page and a schedule. If you've never seen this, by the way, this is the schedule. This is updated every week, and you can click on the links, and they do go to the YouTube videos. But this portion isn't even written as part of the static site generator. That's all under static schedule, and that's all written with. Make that bigger for you, with just raw HTML. And find the JS file. Some really awful DOM manipulation code. It's not the worst. I've seen worse, but I'd rather do this in a more proper form. So I'm not even using the static site generator for this. This is all just in the static folder, and it's plopped in as is. Yeah, at least there isn't much of it, so it should be pretty easy to port. Now this here is the home page. This is all under templates. So normally with the static site generator, you put all your stuff in content, and then you have an index file with markdown that you put all your content in. I don't have that. I have no content to put in there. I think I will. So I was rushing to get a website up before debut, so there isn't much content here. There are a few pages that I would like to build. I don't know if we'll get to that this stream, but right now I have the template file being overridden by this here, extending off of the themes templates, and then I'm basically replacing the entire section, which is this bit here, with some custom code. So I'm using the framework. I'm using the theme static site generator, but not actually using it. So we may as well build it in something that's something that we can properly extend, and is also a little bit nicer to work in. And for that, we are going to be using sveltekit. Now, if you remember some weeks ago, I don't remember when this was, we did do a Svelte tutorial. It was about 3 hours long of non-stop talking. I don't know if I'll do that ever again. We did go through the basics of Svelte, and gone through the first tutorial for Svelte. Now, if you see here, we have 4 parts. I'll make that a little bit bigger. We have 4 parts in this tutorial. We have basic Svelte, advanced Svelte, basic Sveltekit, and advanced Sveltekit. We entirely skipped these last 3, so we are just going to be winging it today. I have very little experience with sveltekit. I've run the install command once, and I've looked around a little bit of the rest of the tutorial, but not much. So hopefully this will go well. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of stumbling around in documentation. But before that, so we have a repo here. I am going to so get graph here. Right now, this is all just very linear. This is all the history that we've had since the beginning of the website. We are going to be mostly throwing that away. We're not going to get rid of the Git history because I do value Git history, but we aren't going to be using most of this code. We're going to be referencing it, but otherwise we don't need to. Whenever I start off a repo, I always start off with an empty commit. Initial commit's empty. There's nothing in it. It makes it very handy as a reset if you ever need to, but also if you ever need to rebase all the commits on top, then you can do that very easily without having to pass in extra flags. But for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to branch off here, create a Svelte branch, and here's where we can install Svelte. I hope I didn't need these. I hope I didn't need these. Let me just double check that. Okay, I think these are all checked in then. Git ignore. Just public. Okay, right. Okay, so public is the one that's ignored. Because it's ignored, Git is not going to remove it. Then themes contains a submodule, which we're going to have to get rid of. So we can just rf star this and should be fine. And now we're back to a clean slate. And we can go here, figure out how to install sveltekit, creating a project. npm creates svelte at latest. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger so you can see. I'll read all the instructions first before you start executing anything. So I'm going to change this to a dot because it looks like it's going to create a directory. Then I'm going to npm install and then we're npm run dev. Okay. We would like to set up TypeScript. That would be nice. And we're probably going to install Sass as well, which I think it does ask for. So two basic concepts here. Each of our page in the app is a Svelte component, and we will be creating pages by adding files to the source routes directory. And what I value about Svelte is that it is server-side rendered. So even if you don't have JavaScript on, you will still see something. That's not it's not the case when you have something like React and you have a static and you don't have server-side rendering. With Svelte, you just get that for free, from what I understand. Although I guess you can use something like Hugo, I think it was Hugo, to do static site generation from React. So I guess it's almost the same thing. Anyway, I'm going to do this dot here. Okay to proceed. Where should we create your project? Current directory, yes. Yes. That is fine. I need a skeleton project. With TypeScript syntax. Add ESLints, I guess. I don't like prettier. I don't need front-end tests. I don't need unit tests, probably. And I think I'm okay with it without the Svelte preview. I did, if you were in the Discord, I did post some stuff about the Svelte 5 preview. And they are making some idiomatic changes to the way you use Svelte. And I feel like if we could delay until Svelte 5 comes out, I think I would. But there's no release date for Svelte 5. So I don't think it's don't think it's a good idea to put it off too much longer. And all the Svelte 4 stuff is still compatible anyway. My employer is Scrum Master is an avid NoScript user, and I don't know how he copes with all the stuff we use and builds so many SPAs. Yeah, I'm also a pretty avid... Well, I used to use NoScript, now I use umatrix. On my personal computer, this is going to be mostly off by default. But certainly for development, I do try to keep it on. Like on my work computer, I don't have that. No, that's not entirely true. I installed it once because there was a website that we had to work on. There was a client site that they had disabled the console by listening on some console event, I think. And then when that fired, they redirected it to Google. So they disabled right-click. They might have disabled selections, and they disabled the, and then they made the console unusable. And so what happened there was, it turns out it was just some script that they were loading. So I found the script that was doing it, turned that off, and then we could actually work on their site. And then we told them that there was a thing. They thought it was us that installed that, actually. So we told them that that was a thing, and I think they got rid of it. Okay, so to use TypeScript, we use scriptlang ts. Remember that. ESLint, we have that now. Next steps, we do npm install. We already have git, so we don't need to do that. And then git or npm run dev open. I probably don't need the open. I think I can do that without it. Yeah, that was probably the wackiest dev blocking that I've ever seen. In the console, I think there was a thing about what was it? Copyright and not stealing, and you will be found, or something. I might be mixing things up, but yeah. Whoever wrote that plugin, I guess it's a good scare tactic, but if you're an actual dev, you know your way around that. Yeah, but yeah, that was probably the worst one I've seen. I've seen a lot of... There was one website I worked on as well where they overrode the console object, and so console log wasn't working properly. Okay, what are we doing? We had npm install, git status. Oh, it does give us a git ignore. Let's see what's in here. I don't want dsstore in here. Okay, I'm gonna edit that out. I have a very adamant stance about putting OS files in git ignores. In my opinion, your OS files like dsstore, .desktop, whatever, those should go in your personal git ignore file. Segue into that a little bit. So in my... Hold on, I'm just going to check that there's nothing here that I shouldn't be showing before I show it off. Git config. Should be fine, okay. So in here, I'm going to use bat to get syntax highlighting. There was somewhere in here. Git ignore? Oh, no, okay. It is instead, I'm just going to make sure that my git ignore doesn't have anything that I don't want showing. Excludes info. Oh! Okay, that's bad. I don't actually have it on this machine. Never mind. But yeah, there is a config option that you can do to put in a global git ignore for your machine only. And that's my recommendation for where you should be putting stuff like dsstore or .desktop or desktop.ini. Jason, welcome in. Don't forget the litigation warning. Yes. And your browser is rendering my web page in a way I consider unethical. It shut down the So there were, back in the day, I don't see this very much anymore, I think, but also because people don't really put things in frames. There was this frame breakout code that you can put. I think window.top is equal to window.self. And if that isn't equal, then you can say window.top equals window.self. Maybe some hrefs in there so that you can pop out of your frame and replace the top level. That might have even been a recommendation on W3 Schools, I don't remember. Or that could have been from, so I learned HTML from this old book written in 1995 called Netscape and HTML by this guy called Lejeune. Yeah, this looks familiar, I think. No, that's the one side. This one I think is a newer one. So an older version of that. Yeah, this one. That book had some crazy stuff. There was one recommendation in there where it says he left an A tag open because he liked the look of it. Don't do that. But yeah, that was back in 1995. I learned HTML in 2007, 2008. So I was working off like math. Over 10 years outdated information. But then after that I went to W3 Schools, which, you know, if you didn't know that it was a bad resource, you wouldn't know. I think it's gotten better these days. But I still probably wouldn't use it. Okay, so we were doing a... Right, so I was going to get rid of the DS store in the git ignore. It was the first... I should have double checked that. Okay, I think we're good. So I do like to use ed for like quick edits like that, where I know that it's going to be either, say, in this case, it was the first line that we need to get rid of. So 1D here is go to the first line and delete it, and then write and quits. It's very simple stuff. I'll probably do an ed stream at some point, but it is going to be a little bit difficult to figure out how to present that well. Okay. So now that's all good, we can do a git commit a, or git add a, git status, everything here should be added. They do give us a readme. We're gonna change that later. Initialize Svelte project. And I'm going to copy this, because that's what I did for Zola. Alright, I am inside of tmux, which means I need to use the tmux facilities to do this. Okay, and then I hope this is going to be okay. Remove that there, and then paste it in here, set paste. There we go. Git log main. So to show off what I did for Zola here, a lot shorter, but it was basically the same thing. Okay, so now we've set up this Svelte project. And what we want, I think, is to create our first page. I'm going to open up a file browser so we can see what's in here a little bit easier. Should I do that with... let's do it with this. This is fine. Unless it's too small. That is actually a little bit too small. I can do I have MC here? Midnight Commander? Midnight Commander. Okay, I'm gonna try to install that and hopefully get something. I still haven't updated my system, so there is a chance that this isn't in the Arch repos anymore. MC. Oh, okay, great. Still there. Alright, so what do we have here? We have source. I don't know why I'm doing this. I can just do open bin. I have netrw. So we have source routes. They said routes here is where we want our thing to go. We have this page here, and then they said do npm run dev to start up the server, and then we can go here to look at what we have. I'm gonna pin this. Okay, so that is our page, main page template, I guess. So let's see how we can add, we can change the home page. So each page of the app is a Svelte component, that's fine. You can create these pages adding source routes to the roots directory and project structure. You have all this. Lib contains all the library code, so this is where all of our other components are going to go. Our params, routes, app.html is your page templates. So that contains the following placeholders. We have head, body, assets, nonce, a bunch of environment variables, then hooks, servers, service workers. We probably don't need these ones. But let's have a look to see what we have. Static, favicon. We will want to replace that. So we have app.html here that provides us with our main HTML template. We probably don't... I was going to say we don't need to change this, probably. Unless we want to get rid of this div. But I think we should be okay. Error.html 404. Come to think of it, mine doesn't have a 404. What happens when you... Oh, okay. I'm going to want to design that at some point. Where are we? So that's fine. We probably don't need to touch that. Static. So we're going to put stuff like images in there, which we have a couple of things to put in there. Package JSON. Also probably won't need to touch that. Svelte config. Perhaps not. Okay, we're good with that one. Web standards. I probably don't need to review this. Routing. Source routes, the root routes, and then we create a bunch of routes through directories. Alright, fair enough. It's pretty easy. Plus page.svelte is a component that defines a page of your app. By default, pages are rendered both on the server side and in the browser for subsequent navigation. SSR being server-side rendered and the CSR for client-side rendered. Okay. Note Sveltekit uses A elements to navigate between routes rather than the framework-specific link components. Talking about probably React and React DOM, or React Router. Plus page.js is for loading scripts. Okay. I don't think we'll need this one, but it'll be good. We might need it for the schedule. We'll see when we get there. Page.server, we aren't going to have a server, so we don't need that. Error, we will leave that for later. Layout. So far, we've treated pages entirely as standalone components. Upon navigation, the existing page Svelte component will be destroyed, and a new one will take its place. But in many apps, there are elements that should be visible on every page, such as top-level navigation or footer. And then instead of repeating them in every page svelte, we can put them in layouts. So we will probably want to have this once we have more pages. For now, since we only have the 2 pages, we have this and then the schedule. I think we'll simplify things a little bit for now and just have the 2 pages. And then move the nav bar out into a layout afterwards. I'm going to skip all the layout stuff. I can skip the server stuff, the types. We may or may not need this. And loading data. Okay, so I think we just start building then, in that case. What else do we have here? Form actions we won't need, page options. Sure. State management. There's no state that needs to be done here, because there's barely any interactivity, so I think we can skip that one as well. So, building the app, preview the app, and then the adapters. We're going to end up doing adapter static once we're all done, because this is going on GitHub pages. I think eventually I want to put this on Cloudflare pages just for flexibility, but for now GitHub pages is fine. Okay. That's fine, we can skip all of these things here, and then we can probably skip all the advanced stuff because this is a very simple website. Okay, so we just start building this. And this is just an exercise of looking at what we have now and then just rebuilding it in Svelte. One way we can make that a little bit easier is Git supports this thing called Git work trees. That allows you to check out more than one branch or commit or realistically work trees at the same time. So a Git work tree is all the checked out files that you're currently working on. So if we do Git work tree, then you give it a path to the work tree. So in this case, we're going to put it in website Zola. And I'm going to check out the main branch, and I'm going to detach the heads. And just make sure that I have this right. I need an add here. So now, if we go to work websites like Zola, now we have a copy of the old website in our file system, so we can reference that whenever we need to, while still having the Svelte version available to us to work on. And so we're going to look in the templates here into the HTML, or the index HTML that we had overrode. Most of this stuff I'm probably not going to keep. So maybe it's worth it to just go from the ground up. Okay, so how do I put CSS in here? That's another good question. Actually, no, because it's the Svelte component, you just put style. That's right. Okay, so we're going to start off with removing this. We go here. So we have a 2-panel layout here. One, we have one that fills the entire screen, and then one where we had the footer. So let's do that. We have a. This is going to be a div. I missed if we have Sass out of the box. That is actually a good question. I don't think I saw Sass. So let me see. Git log. And this is why it's nice to have the your settings in the commit message, because then you can just look for it. Okay, so it didn't ask for a Sass, but I think it's pretty easy to set it up. So we're going to package JSON. Do we have Sass here? No. So then we can look at, I think it was in creating a project, we have integrations here. preprocessors, available preprocessors. And so we can just have turn on scripts. Scripts are already on. Hello? Svelte preprocess SAS. Actually, we probably want Svelte preprocess here. We want to install this. Good call, because SAS is nice to work with. We're going to do that. And then how do we configure it to use that? Transform your Svelte files, pass in the compiler. Many available preprocessors. The Svelte team maintains 2 official ones discussed below. Note the copy script is not supported by sveltekits. We do need to install. Oh, actually, save dev. npm uninstall Svelte's preprocess. Should we flip that JSTS switch at the bottom left? That would be helpful. Okay, so I uninstalled it because we need to save this as a dev dependency. And the difference between a dev dependency and a regular dependency is that a regular dependency, if you are going to be installing this or publishing this as a library or anything, the dev dependencies are what are going to be passed along and installed with your application. Those are the things that you need for your application to run. Your dev dependencies are what you need for your application to build, but don't necessarily need it after you've built. The Svelte preprocess here is a dev dependency because we don't need it after we built. It is necessary for building. However, vt process may be faster and require less configuration used by default. And then, after that, you'll often need to install the corresponding libraries such as SAS. So we will install SAS. Yeah, we just install SAS. Okay. Great. Now what? Into rollupconfig.js. Rollup, hello. Svelte config, is it under vt config? Preprocess is no longer that. I think these docs might be outdated. Add it to your Svelte config, okay. So in this case, we want this instead. I'm gonna shrink this. Some tools of the Svelte ecosystem, such as Svelte VS Code and sveltekit, need access to your Svelte configuration so they know how to properly handle your Svelte files. This can be achieved by creating a Svelte config.js at the root of your project, which exports a Svelte options object. Write the config in ESM style when you have type module and package.json. You do. And in this case, we need this. We have preprocess, vt process, but we don't want that. We actually want the other one now. So instead, we have this. We can get rid of this. I'm gonna call this Svelte's preprocess, just in case we have other preprocessors. Okay, and then we have Svelte preprocess options here. No, that can't be everything though. Surely we have to tell it that we want SAS. Svelte preprocess, that's fine. Sveltekit might have already adding the Svelte preprocess to our build workflow. Auto processing mode. Oh, actually, so it might already It might already see that it is there. Auto preprocessing mode. Svelte automatically uses the respective preprocessor for you based on tag source, lang, or type attribute. Okay, so that means that we just need to label our style tag as SAS or as SCSS, and it'll just do it for us. Okay, just making sure. I know I did see this in the docs somewhere. Go to basic sveltes, advanced sveltes. We will find out. Styling. Not styling. Let's go to the docs, and I think there was something about styles here. No? Page options, management, adapters, advanced. Performance, accessibility, SEO. What am I looking at? Okay. But lang SCSS I think is going to work, so we can always try that out. So we have style lang equals SCSS. And then we can say body background color is blue. And then we have this div here. Div background color is white, sure. And width is 100 pixels, height 100 pixels. That should be good enough for a test. Okay, and then it says to open up localhost something something. This one. I'm gonna pin this. And we've already failed. What happened? Okay, so it's there, and we have no width. But it is there. No, it isn't there. This is a different one. No, okay, so this I think is the... This is the div that we had in here. Oh, right, because we don't have... That's right. So, Svelte by default has scoped styles. So if you look in here, go to the style editor, we should see that we have scoped styles. Actually, we don't even see any styles in here. So we can't actually do this body thing here, because that doesn't work. But we can do something like nest these divs. And I have some text there, and I have some text here. We'll see how this works. We do see that color blue. We should see that being blue, alright. So SCSS is doing something. And then div background color reds. Alright, so this is how we put SAS in. Seems to be pretty simple. So we will need that style there, but that is fine. But before all that, we do need to do git commits, because we did add a bunch of stuff. So we add SAS and Svelte preprocess. Include this, include that. Don't add that, and we do want this one. Enable SAS, SCSS compilation. Style sheets. Okay, so now we can actually go ahead and try to break this down here. So if we look at the original styles, and these are all part of Juice, and I don't know how much of this I want to keep. But we have the main component here, which is this portion. That... Oh. What? Oh, right. Because it isn't main in this one. So the juice theme actually has this hero portion. And then if you have any content that you want on your homepage that isn't just this, it does actually support having a section below it. And that's what this main is. But for us right now, I think this does end up being main because there's nothing here. So we can make that main. We'll have a main section here. And then we'll have an outer div. And then we have a footer. Like this. And we have our styles here, and I don't think we'll need any scripts, so we can leave the scripts out. Alright, we already had one here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we have that, and then we can style this so that main is, say, what do we have? 100 BH. Main is 100 BH, and then width is 100, so that's already there by default. And that's probably fine. And then we have the footer there. I'm always a little bit lost when it comes to creating pages and styling them. So you might see me just flail around a little bit while we try to port this over. But what we have here inside of the main, and it is possible that we'll extract this into a separate component. But we have this section, the hero section, and inside that, the hero is a flex container, I think is what I made it. Flailing is a part of the process, yes. Oh no, so we have a single hero content here, and this hidden explore more. Which I disabled, one, because there's nothing here to scroll down to, but also because it was the original way that it was implemented wasn't all that great. Where is the override? Oh, here it is. It's explore more important because I made it inline. Oh, who knows? But we're not going to have this, so it doesn't even matter. So we can probably remove one level of nesting here. The hero content. Actually, no, it's probably best to keep that. So the hero content here, I think, is a flex container. So I have this as a flex container, so I have these two columns. We turn on flex view. We see these two columns. And if I put on responsive mode, then these two columns automatically wrap. So we have a vertical view. If I shrink even more, then these all start to expand. But okay, so we have a flex container in there, and we have a section for the left and right. Should they be actual HTML sections? I don't know. But that's what I made it. And then we have the most popular stream, which is the automaton stream, unsurprisingly. If you haven't gone and watched that, give it a listen. It was good, except maybe for all I Want for Christmas Was You. That's that one wasn't so great. But yeah, so we have this custom embed here. I was thinking maybe we have two of those, one for the most popular and then one for the latest. But we can leave that out for later. That's pretty easy to add. Section seems reasonably appropriate. Yeah, probably. Okay, so we'll just make sections then. Footer feels like it should probably go into separate, into its own component, but we'll do that later. We'll start with the footer because this is actually pretty easy. Which I think we can actually just copy as is. So if I can find the footer in wherever it is that we put it. We go back to website Zola, templates, index, footer, just copy this wholesale. And then small class subtext is probably not necessary. Then we'll have footer. Do I want to keep this color? So I don't remember what this color is. This is footer something. Background, oh, it's just hard-coded. Okay, I'm going to want to make that into a variable. But for now, we'll just hard-code it. Nope, I switched my input. Whoa, unexpected token. Did we do something? So this is the correct color. We have a footer here. Why do you not have a background color? So I need to give you a class name. It's possible that I need to give you a class name. No, but we didn't have to earlier, right? When we did the div styles, it just worked. Okay, we'll give it a class name and see what we get. Unless I spelled this wrong, but I don't think I did. Okay. But no, clearly main works fine, because we do have a height 100 VH. Okay, did my server die? Parse error. Unexpected token. Oh. Right, I forgot. So Zola interpolation has this double braces thing. Svelte also uses double braces for interpolation. So we're gonna change this. And we're going to copy this over, and we're going to probably change this out to a variable later, but we will leave that for later. Build a page and then extract things out. Okay, so now we have a footer. Have you tried quintuple braces? What will that do? I think it'll just... It might fail on the second one, like in the third level nesting, because the first one will start interpolation. The second one will start a JavaScript object that I think inside is a JavaScript expression. And then the third one is not valid. So I think you'll still end up with a syntax error from the third onwards. And it is no longer 2023, it's actually 2024. We're gonna up the copyright date for that one, but also use an n dash, because that's proper. So how the background color as that, and just the regular text color is white. Alright, very good. And we want... Okay, how do I apply site-wide CSS? Oh, that's why I couldn't find anything for Svelte, because I was on the kit, the docs for kit. So for styling, it should be in here somewhere. Okay, so we do need to go here to find styles. No, not these ones. These are directives, component directives, special elements, slots, nope. Project structure. Do we have anything to do with CSS in here? I guess we can add a CSS file in the static, but surely there's got to be something else. Config other Svelte files, because I do know there is one way we can do it, and we can have just gotta find it. I remember seeing in the tutorial that we can create global styles by doing something special, but I don't remember where that is. Like add HTML and then add body or something. There was a declaration here. Special tags, add HTML, add const. I feel like I'm doing this thing, so whenever I troubleshoot with someone, and sometimes they have a tendency to just skip over stuff and not read the docs, and this happens with a lot of people. Oh, global, that's what it was. Yes, thank you. So they have a tendency to just skim through and not really read. And yeah, it's something that when I'm shadowing somebody, that's not a problem for me. I tend to catch them when they do that. And it is a little bit annoying when they skip right past the right past what they should be looking at. But here I am doing the same thing. Okay, so is that something we want here? I feel like maybe not. Because we want to change the body style. Doc hubris, yeah. So we have this link, we have viewports, sveltekit heads. Okay. Sveltekits, global styles. App.html layout svelte's global. Oh, okay. Right, layout is probably a good... Yeah, that makes sense. So we will end up using a plus layout file. And source app CSS. Svelte ignores styles that aren't part of your template, which sucks when you don't have control over the markup. Sure. In that case, you can use a global. You can scope rows to the component you want. Sveltekit by default comes with Svelte preprocess. Sure. Okay, so it sounds like we probably want a layout file with a colon global. Okay, what do we have here? Right, we were gonna do this. Actually, something I need to do. So I'm gonna come back in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves at the intermission scene. Walk around, take a get water or whatever. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Real sorry about that. A tip for any streamers out there, don't eat before you stream, otherwise Murphy's Law will guarantee that it'll disagree with you at the worst time. Anyway, continuing on. What do we have here? So I think we want a plus layout file with a global. Right, okay, so we'll create that. We go to routes, we create a plus layout file, plus layout.svelte. We'll create a style, lang, SCSS. And inside we have a global body, because what do we want to get rid of? We want to get rid of this bit here. So the body naturally has a little bit of padding, and I think this is part of the browser styles, but we do not want that. So we're going to get rid of the padding on the body. Padding 0, and hopefully this is enough to for us to get rid of that. And it just completely disappears. What happens? Layout. Received an unexpected slot default. I guess we need to put a slot in here, don't we? Okay, I'm using this wrong. Where do we see layout files? Layouts? Now we have this doc here. Slots like that. And I think we import... Base layout wraps the entire sveltekit app. Sure. But we still have this from our for our next HTML. Pages, and we have layouts, and we have roots. Let's try it this way. I don't think it matters, but I guess it's worth trying. Okay, time to look at the tutorial. Basic sveltekit. Loading data, headers, shared modules, lib alias. Headers. Inside a load function, not those kinds of headers. Layouts. Different routes of your app will often share common UI. Instead of repeating it in each page svelte component, we can use a layout svelte component that applies to all routes in the same directory. And move the duplicated content from page.svelte into the new layout.svelte file. The slot element is where the page content will be rendered. A layout svelte file applies to every child route, including the sibling page svelte, if it exists. You can nest layouts to arbitrary depth. Okay, you said you would slot it in. Where are you? Oh, it is here. It's just not rendering. Oh, right. Because I got rid of the stuff in... in the main. I'm gonna move this over to the left, or to the right. Then we have a little bit more space. Because we are doing a vertical layout, and it's useful to see the bottom. Okay, so we said for the body, we're padding 0. Nope, not like that. When we get padding is 0. So why do we still have padding? Is it margins? These are margins, never mind. Margin 0. Okay, there we go, that's what we want. So now we have margin 0. And so our footer extends all the way to the end there. And then... I mean, I guess we can probably commit here. What have we built? We have created a very basic layout. Build basic layout. Okay, so we may as well work on the footer because I think the footer is the easier one of the two to build. And so prototyping in here, I think we can say rules, elements, text align center. Let's make it bigger for you as well so you can see that. Text align center, so we have it centered. And then height, let's say 3 EM. 3 EM, hello? Oh, right, because I'm on the footer. No, that's correct. I do want to be on the footer. That's not 3 EM. Oh, that's absolutely not 10 EM. Okay, something's overriding it. I didn't make this a flex container though, so that's not it. This is height 100, which is fine. Oh, because it's down here, right? Okay. No, that's fine. So height 3 EM, vertical align is probably not going to do anything. Middle, which of course it doesn't because yeah, that's why. Well, I could turn this into a flex container. Display flex. And then we go to the CSS tricks flexbox page and figure out what we need here. I could probably bookmark this on this machine. Put this in here for now, or we'll make a new folder. Flex and auto margin. Yeah, I guess so. Display flex and margin auto, but not on the footer, on the inside. But at the same time, why would I do that if I have justify contents and align items? Or is it align contents? Or something like that. We have align content, which puts in the center, and then we have align items, which also puts in the center, and then we have justify content, which we can make center. Justify content center, we'll just set all of these to center. Well, that makes it pretty easily centered. And this will work fine because we only have just the one element in here. So that's probably okay. So I'll add these in here. Do we still need text align center? Not really. Place items. Is that a thing now? Yes, let's place items. Oh, display grids. Yeah, I guess that's the thing too. That's okay. We already have this one working. Thing with CSS is that over the years there have been multiple ways of doing things. The traditional way to do this, I think, would be to make this a table cell and then have it centered that way. We're not doing that. Yeah, I'm okay with Flex. It works well enough here. Get rid of this. Probably get rid of that. We don't need it. Traditional, or if you need to support MS Outlook. Well, with Outlook, you have to use actual tables. I don't think you can use CSS. But yeah, HTML emails are a whole nother thing. You're pretty restricted to, I think it's some combination of, some restricted subset of HTML4. Mostly the stuff that was in HTML 3.2, I think, with some other stuff added onto it. And HTML emails are death. I've never tried writing one. Maybe that's a stream idea. But also, where do I test that? Because I think Thunderbird, I think just uses whatever Firefox uses for rendering. And I'm not on Windows, so I can't just put up Outlook and do that. If anyone has any ideas on how to do that, put it in Discord. It would actually be a good stream idea. I have been thinking that one stream we could maybe do, like, write a page using HTML3 and see what kind of stuff we need there. There are some test frameworks, I think. I'd imagine there are. Hopefully you don't have to pay for them though. I'd consider paying for one if that was my job, and I'd rely on that day to day, but not for a single stream. Center footer. Okay, so we have a footer. I think we do need to change the anchor element here. And we will use the power of Sass nesting. Create an A tag. We're just going to create a single A tag here. I think we will create hover styles later. Usually the best practice for A tags is that you do A and then A link, and then A visited, and A hover, and A active. All four of these, and maybe this fifth one. Because they're all different. But for now we're just going to do the one, and then we can fix it later. Isn't this... Hold on, gotta fix this window. Isn't this power native to CSS as of recently? The nesting. I don't know if that's... I know that there was some movement there. I don't know how far it's gotten. The CSS nesting module allows you to write your style sheets so that they are easier to read. Child selectors. Yeah. So it is being worked on. But how far in are we with support here? Can I use CSS nesting? Oh, this is actually pretty widely supported. Interesting. My baseline though is does it work in Pale Moon? Oh, I want to show that off. Hold on. Doesn't work in Pale Moon. And if it works in Pale Moon, I'm okay to use it. If it doesn't, not so much. Because I actually use Pale Moon for my day-to-day on my... that's not entirely true anymore. I kind of use it. But I do still prefer to keep compatibility with Pale Moon as a baseline. So maybe in a couple of years, when Pale Moon picks it up, or sooner if they do sooner, then I would absolutely use this. Firefox got in 122. Yeah, up until recently, I don't think web components made it into Pale Moon, which made things a little bit annoying with sites that do, such as GitHub. But there are polyfills that exist. Okay, so we have the splitter here. And now I guess we can work on the main portion. And close this. Actually, we can leave this up just for testing. I don't expect there to be any significant changes. But we do have this here. Okay. But we're going to be working mostly out of Firefox for now. By the way, Pale Moon doesn't look like this by default. I put a skin on it. The theme is Fox to the Moon. It is the look of Firefox 2. Pale Moon by default does have the tabs on the bottom, which I do prefer. But normally it doesn't look like this. So the anchor tag, right, we were going to make this color white. Best practice would be to add a hover style. I don't know what I want to make that yet, so we're just going to leave that as is. Git commits am. Make footer links white. Not preferred, strongly enough to tweak. Hold on, gotta find what you said here. Tweak Firefox. So I do, I don't know if they have that. I mean, Firefox, Firefox is a little bit more okay. So I'm going to show you what this looks like without the theme. Enable the default, and then I have to restart. So this is what it looks like without the theme. It's not, this is the default GTK theme. I'm just going to move you to the full screen scene so you can see a little bit better. Not so much better. But yeah, it is a little bit too round for my taste. Whereas Firefox, I'm going to re-enable this one. Firefox is fine, and a lot of squares. The only thing I don't like about Firefox is, well, not the only thing, but one of the things that I don't like about Firefox is tab bar is that you don't have any separators. So it's all just one big blob. Which, I mean, I guess is fine. I can tell the tabs apart, which is all you really need. But yeah, it's fine. I think there's a level of, if you can't customize it enough, then you kind of just ignore it after a while. Although, if I could customize this, I would. I actually do think I have the color scheme on this one. Oh no, this is just the system auto theme. Okay. Yeah, use your Chrome based on the Photon style. I'm not a big fan of Proton. Acorn, I hadn't heard that one. But yeah, user style or user Chrome, I had considered that, but I heard that they just keep breaking because Mozilla keeps changing things in the browser, and that is not something I necessarily want to put up with. Originally, I wasn't actually using Firefox all that much, but then containers were nice because I have a bunch of accounts that I want to log into. Pale Moon has the multi-fox extension, but it's not quite as good as containers. Okay, so we have this link here. This is underlined. You can tell it's a link. We will add hover styles to that eventually. Just move this out of the way. And so I think we can proceed then to the main. Do I want to move this out right now? No, probably not. Okay, so we'll start with the main portion here. We have this hero, which we have display unset because I had to override a bunch of stuff. And then we have background color, and then we have the background image, which is a gradient. There's some breakage a couple times a year, but yeah, usually not too bad. Yeah, and I don't know if anyone's tried to maintain anything for the Firefox 2 theme, if there is even a user Chrome sheet for that. But I would expect to probably be maintaining that myself if I had done that. But yeah, it's very helpful if you have somebody else doing it for you and just keep up to date with the styles. Okay, the background color. I just copy this actually. Oh, wait a minute. So this is actually all written in Sass. We have the advantage of just taking what we have here in, not here, here, in the Sass folder, looking at the penbu.scss, and just grab this. I'm surprised I didn't put this in variables, which we should do, but maybe not right now. Another nice thing about Sass is that we have these functions. I think they're available in standard CSS now, but they're if I want to keep compatibility with Pale Moon, it doesn't have that yet, so I gotta use the Sass versions. No module with a namespace math. We might have to import that. Use Sass math. No, that input method. Okay. There we go. That's what we want. I don't remember how I came up with this theme or this. Oh no, I do. Right. Okay. So basically, we have this this gradient that goes from the top right or top left down to the top right or bottom right, and then I think it's blue from here to the middle, and then it's a gradient from the blue to the green from this half here. So if we had this on full size. Right, so it's blue, and then we have the gradient from blue to green here, and then underneath this isn't a fully opaque green either. This is a half transparent one over the same blue here. Okay, so we have that. That is the background there. I don't need fully tune up. I gotta mute the stream. All right. Hopefully you don't miss anything important, but you can always come back to the VODs. But thanks for tuning in. Okay, what do we have here? Yeah, so we have a background, so we can commit that. Add main background. And then from here, we can probably make the layouts. So we can take this. We can have our sections. No? Alright, fine. So we have our two sections, then we have this as a display flex. I think this was a flex one. So we can just take what we had here. I have all these unset because those were from the styles, or from the theme rather. box sizing border box. That might be useful to apply globally. I'm always a little bit hesitant to do this. But it might be helpful in this case. There's actually there's a recommendation not to use star as border box, border size, box sizing. You don't want to apply it to all elements. You actually want it to apply to, where is it? This one. I think it was this one. So this is what people tend to do, or I think people tended to make the star. Make that a little bit bigger. But you actually want it to do this, where you have box sizing inherit, because this then allows you to have to override the box sizing for individual elements inside. So if you have a library of components, say that that assumes the default box sizing, then you can apply it to just the container of those elements and have it render properly. But yeah, this I think is maybe what we want to consider. As much as I hate putting this in, it might make things a little bit easier. Does this work? Do we need to put global on everything here? Or can it just be like global this, and then put everything inside? Well, we always try it out, I guess. Okay, well, we'll see if that works. I guess it doesn't. Because now we get this border here. I think we might have to put global everywhere. Okay, that's fine. So I guess we'll just have to type that out. Okay, Vim macro time. We look for the opening brace, go to the start, and then go to select until the opening brace. Global, like that. And I hope I did that right. Close enough. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so now we have that. We now have box sizing everywhere, except for anything explicit. So we have box sizing inherits. Box sizing border box. We don't need that here. I think the rest of that is probably okay. So we have this main here, and then we have these two sections. I'm gonna fill in those sections, and maybe we'll actually commit this one with a comment. SAS actually supports double slash for comments, so we'll use that. Global border box. Add CSS border box resets. Okay, so now we have these two sections. We want to turn this into easier. So we're going to have, probably best to just look at the SCSS here. We have the main header, we have a hidden text, that's not what we need. We have hero contents, and then the section padding, this stuff, and then max width, I will probably want to change this one. I actually don't mind having a desktop first layout. It's not awful. Oh, did I forget to save this one? Right, okay. So that's actually 42 panels. But less. I don't think it matters on a layout like this. Yeah, probably not. It's nothing too complex. Which one am I looking at? I'm looking at this one, 24. Not that, LS. Go back. Buff 24. That's what I want. Okay. So Vim has this concept of buffers. And so all of the files that you have loaded, they don't even need to be in any windows or tabs. You can just have them loaded. And then you can load any buffer into any other window here. This pane here is called a window. And so we want to take the styles from the hero content and apply them onto the main. Do I actually want to... I feel like maybe I do want a wrapper here. I think we do... Do we? Whatever, we can always back out of that later. Or do I? Because I had originally, for this to work, I had this one, so this one has the background image, and then inside we have the content. The original theme didn't have this. It didn't have these two layers. It only had the one, so I must have done this for a reason. So if I did it for a reason, I should probably listen to myself and add a wrapper there. Class equals hero content. Class hero, I guess. Hero is fine. Do I even care? Oh, whatever. Now you just take all of this. Plop it in there. And hopefully that's going to be good enough. So we have this main, we have this div, and then we have these two sections that are somewhere. Enable this flex here. Now let's temporarily fill this in with something. Okay, we probably don't need this one anymore. Oh no, we will need that later. We'll keep that in there. Let's call this A, let's call this B. Okay, so this is laying out as I want it to. So that's good. Add 2 columns to main main section. These are pretty bad commit messages, but it's fine. Okay. So then we can do these text portions. I'm gonna put this in here and then probably this as well. Fill this in with text. We can deal with the images later. We have this H1, which is the logo. This should not be an H3. But okay. So I'm going to do this. Main header. Yeah, gonna get rid of this image, and we're just going to do Penbu for now. Programming, puzzle gaming, music making, vtuber on Linux is fine. Let's call this subtitle. And we'll make this an H2. And we need to match the H2. So now it looks like that. I'm surprised these are the same size. Why are these the same size? It's not like this is layout computed. Because normally your H1s and H2... Did I put something in here that accidentally put anything? Oh, font size, where are you? Interesting. The browser's not supposed to do that, I don't think. What kind of styles do I have on this one? This is on min height 100 VH, width 100%, padding. I gotta get rid of this pixel count. Okay, interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, normally the browser will render this as different sizes, so I don't know why it's doing this here. Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna change this to from 40px to if we assume that we have 16 as our main rem, then 40 divided by 16 is 2.5. Let's make that 2 EM. Sure. Now I'm using EM. Actually, for layout, rems are probably better. I do prefer to use EM a little bit more than rems. I know everyone likes to use rem because it makes their layout a little bit more predictable. But in my view, if you're working with text, you should probably be using EMs because it makes it a lot more... Or if you're working with sizes that are related to the text that you're in, then to me it makes more sense to use EMs because then it'll look proportional to the text. What do we have here? Okay, so we have this, and we got rid of the... We turned this into 2 rems, which is fine. And then we have this, and then we have the iframe. What am I doing? Like that. Put this in the other section. Honestly, I'm wondering if I should have started with the schedule instead. I feel like that might have been a little bit easier to work on. But okay, so that layout works as before. Dr. Wright. Gonna have localhost show everything. Okay. Fill columns with content. I'm thinking maybe I should switch the schedule. Because this I can fumble around on my own, and I don't know if this is going to be more interesting to watch than making the schedule. Yeah, I might switch. I don't want to deal with the images right now. No, I'd have to deal with the image anyway because of the images here. This one has an image. And then I'd have to deal with the SVG images here as well. I have to try to get grocery store before 10, but this is very interesting. Checking out the recording. There's part 2. I'll book time around it. Thank you for coming, and I hope you get the groceries that you need. But yeah, is there going to be a part 2? Possibly. Because, what was it? I mentioned in my last Awawad programming stream that I would make the test before we do the next Owl stream. I have not made the test yet, and therefore we have not had another Owl stream. Sorry, Owl Fudge. One of these days I will do that. But I am also delaying a little bit because I have something else in mind. And it's not ready yet. So yeah, for my sanity, I think I will switch to the templates, or the schedule. So like this, and then we have a page.html, plus page.svelte. And we go to the schedule, and this is a lot easier to work with because then I don't have to decipher the juice code, because I wrote all this HTML myself. So we go out here, we go to the Zola site, we go to static, we go to schedule, and then we go to index.html. We can basically just copy this for the most part. And take this ID schedule. Take that here. And then take the CSS file, which I gotta figure out where we can put that. Where do we put our CSS? Project structure. Project file source. Source lib contains your library code, utilities, and components. Server contains your server-only library codes. Params contains parameter matches. App HTML has that. Error HTML hooks client server workers. So I guess we want to put this in lib. Otherwise, we put it in static. Because we have static here. We have static. Any assets that should be served as is, like robots.txt or favicon PNG, should go in there. Yeah. I have a CSS file. And it is acceptable, I think. Because all it is this. Well, that's for that one. But then for the main CSS, then I have this, which is fine. But I can clean it up a little bit. Okay, so I guess for now, this can go in here. We'll need to make this a lang equals SCSS, and then we dump the rest of this in here. And this now we can replace with Sass functions, but I think for now we'll leave that as is. Font family, deja vu sans serif, which is fine. Sans mono, so that's all fine. And then all of this is the same thing as what we had before, and I guess we need to put this in the layout file. So we can put this in a layout file. We make plus layouts.svelte. Put this in a style. Style lang equals SCSS. Put this in there. Global. Let's copy what we had here. We had here. HTML body width, margin, heights. Wonder if there's a way we can deduplicate this. Schedule. All right, that's that looks about right. Like content, layouts, Svelte ID announcer. I need a slot. There we go. That's what we want. And then inside here we have this, which is correct. And then this will no longer need JavaScript render, and this is one of the things that I wanted out of this, because I do not like depending on JavaScript if it's all just static content. Also, another reason why I didn't go for React. Okay, so we have this. Route schedule, get commits, add schedule skeleton. So now we don't need this layout anymore, and we can just focus on this. Actually, we probably didn't even need a layout, considering that it's only just this one. But that's fine. And so we have this here. And so we don't need the CSS anymore. We don't need the CSS anymore, and now we just need to look at how the schedule works. The websites. This is in static schedule index HTML. So the way this works is that I have this JSON blob where I put the schedule contents. So we have an array of events, each of which is an object that has the different properties we have here. So that it's a type stream, as in today. So it's a stream. We have a title, and if you look at the website, the schedule for this one, this is what gets rendered here. So that's the title there. URL is what we link to. Also ends up getting used up here. Make this a little bit bigger. Over here for the YouTube ID. Also the date time, which gets rendered as these 2 times here. And then an ID just to differentiate between them all. This isn't really being used otherwise, but this is taken from a Google Calendar that I have maintained, which is technically public. I just haven't shared it around. But that is something that I do want to make public at some point. Maybe in this one, I don't know, we'll see. So we have the skeleton now, and now we just need to build stuff. We have this mini script here that takes in a mount point, or that takes the mount points, and then the data, and then the templates, and then render the template. Most of this stuff here, that is all going to be handled by React, or by, not React, Svelte. So we will not need to do that. But what we will need to do is create some Svelte components. If we look at the schedule templater, and that will be in Node.js here. We've got a big HTML blob string here. This we can probably lift and put into a template, or into a Svelte components. Actually, this we can probably just put straight in here. Right there. So that's probably fine. So let's lift this image because I'm going to need that anyway. So this is what that looks like now. We got some missing images, which is expected. Okay. That's fine. I'll just copy over the images. So we can CP from the website Zola, go to static, images. I'll probably just copy all of them actually. Static images to static images here. And now we should just get everything. There we go. That's what we want. Static images, which actually then means that for the regular one here, well, I guess I didn't put the image in there, sure. Git add static images, git commit, add images from previous sites. I feel like we could have maybe done some git trickery here and do some sort of pseudo merge, but maybe not. I think that'll mess with our history a little bit too much. But okay, so we have this now. This should be at the bottom. I don't know why. And I think it might be because we don't have styles for the footer. No, we do. Div ID schedule, class schedule, and we have the footer there. Then it might be because .schedule doesn't have a height? Or do we need... Okay, what is this? What do we have here? This is margin auto, padding 1em, text align center. An inline style. We probably don't want that. Where did this come from? Why did I write that? I must have written this because it's all handwritten HTML. Oh, right. Okay, no, that makes sense. Because that is actually the no-script version. There we go. That's what this should look like. Okay. Git adds git diff cached. Yeah, that looks about right. Git commits m adds old schedule templates, outer template, main templates. To make sure I have the correct codes. Okay, so yeah, to explain that portion here, the codes here, we have the mount point get element by ID schedule, and we render the template on top of that, replacing the children inside. This child here is it only shows if you do not have JavaScript that runs this portion. So that's why this says the schedule requires JavaScript to render, and its limitation will be fixed in the future version, which we are doing now. So yeah, so this is actually not necessary anymore, and we can take that out. And so now we're left with this, which is correct. So now we need to go in and do one for every notification. Well, I call these things notifications because I base them off of the Windows notifications. But okay, so this entire thing is probably going to be one component. Now we go into our lib directory. Maybe we'll make a new tab for this one. Finally get to use our lib directory. Call it schedule. What's in here? Place files you want to import through the lib alias in this folder. Sure. So in schedule we have I don't know, let's call this events. I'm hesitating a little bit because one of the things that I wanted to do with this schedule website was that in my view, you could make multiple themes out of this and swap between them. So far I only have one theme, but in theory you can have multiple style sheets and you can have multiple renderers. And the user could switch between them as they wanted to. We never got that far. I guess for now we'll just do this though. So event.svelte, and we will end up having to import that. Well, the event template is this one, so we'll take this, plop this in here, and remove all the IDs. Because I don't think we need the IDs. The IDs I have here because I needed those to select all the elements for all this handwritten mount codes. But we don't need to do that anymore in Svelte, so we're not going to do that. Then we'll take the style. So the style is in here somewhere. I think I'm going to have to take everything that has schedule events and put them in here. No, that's not right. Dot events. I think I need everything that has dot event and I need to put that in there. Or anything that references anything that's in here. So I need everything that's event, locations, title, content, and time label and event start, which hopefully is just all of this. Hooray for good layout. Alright, so we'll see how that looks then. Hopefully we haven't broken anything. Okay, so we're still good. Can I just put this off to the side? Yes, I can. Okay, and then we will need a script tag for this one. Script lang equals ts, I think is what they said. Yeah. Pop that out so we can see the rest of this. Adapters, no, that's not it. Svelte components, scripts. Actually, let's just give this a try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll try something else. So in Svelte, you have the script here that tells you what it is that you need to, like any interactive stuff that you need, and also to bring in any other components or whatever that you might want to bring in, or style sheets. Style sheets work too, I think. So we have this. Taking a look at what we need from this template. We can take an event, so exports lets events, and give that as a default. So this is a way to, let me double check that actually. Where is the tutorial? that is the way to export a prop, or to declare a prop. So in nested, we have this let's answer. Well, we need to export let answer. Default values. So we can give it a default like this. Okay, so that's the way I have it. And so if we are not given an event, which actually we probably want to enforce, because if you don't give it an event, then what's the point? So we do want it to have an event. And then in this case, we are looking at what? So this event template here. And we need to save this here. So we have this render, and then we have, I remember putting in a render event template. So the stream render events. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. This looks familiar. Because sometimes I do have separators. If we go back in some old, schedules, and I'm going to pull one up in a bit once I find it. There's one that was even this year actually. Schedules 2024. Right, so I have this old schedule here, the separator right there. This counts. This is one of the things that's in the array. It just has type separator instead of type event or stream. So yeah, that's this here. But we are interested in this .render event, which is this bit here. And we want to destructure these parts. So what we can do is we can do the same thing. We can just const this. Close events. I wish I had... Ah, it does have it. I've never had good success with Vim and nested highlighting. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But I think this one is on the this one is the issue of the language file, not so much Vim itself, because Vim can handle nested syntaxes. I see. So it just doesn't recognize this then. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to look into how to do that. So we have this event. We can make an event type. I am not making an event type right now. That'll be for another time. But we have this const ID, title, URL, other URLs, tags, whatever, which we can put in here. Locations. So if we look at how this builds it, so we have this event fragments, which is where it builds all its stuff. Event elements, which is this here. And we can give it the ID. I think that's a shortcut for that. And then class list.add tags. How do you add classes in a nicer way? So I think there was one. Findings, lifecycle, introduction. Styling, nested dynamic attributes. Okay, so at least I have my shorthand correct. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if there's a shortcut. Svelte, classes. Class install the class directive. Like any other attribute, you can specify a class with a JavaScript attribute. Here we can take a flip class of the card This works as expected. If you click on a card now, it'll flip. Very good. Which part of this? Oh, it's in advanced spell, that's why. So class flips like that, so we can make it that. Like so. Shorthand. In this case, we can just make it that. But how do you have, if you have, how do you add a bunch of classes? Actually, because this is, we can basically just turn this into a string. Because we have class list.add tags. We can actually just turn this into a string. Tags.join with space, and we just add that in there. Hopefully. And then the locations, we have locations ID. ID equals locations this. This is the wrong way to do it. This is the right way to do it. Okay. So in Svelte you have regular regular attributes, and then you can do string interpolation inside by doing by putting in the braces. And so then inside of here, we want this whole thing. Let's maybe skip this a little bit first. And put all the static content in. Why is this in H3? Why is this in H3? That doesn't sound right. Do I have an H2 somewhere in here? Oh, I do have an H2. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So this is an H1. This is an H2. No, this... I am very confused. Why is that an H2? What is this? Class logo. What? Oh, the title. The title has it. Right, so the H2 is the title for the entire thing. So every week I change the number here. So it's right now we're on ISO week 4. And so we are on W04. And that is part of this, not here. Part of this JSON object, we have a title. Okay, that makes sense. So H3 then is each of those. Where is my cursor? Oh no, did this hang? I think Vim hanged. Okay. Kill Vim. Kill the window. Yes. Now we're just gonna have to open all those files again. That does mean that we won't have so many tabs. We'll have, what we were looking at was lib, go through the file system. Wait for this to load up. It's not supposed to take that long. But source, something's definitely off here. It's not supposed, it's hanged again. Interesting. Okay, so we're just gonna go through this then. Lib slash schedule slash event.svelte. And then as reference we have up, and we go to website Sola, and then we go to static schedule note template notice. Oh, that's it. Okay. And so the title element, we do the same thing. We give this the ID. Oh, right. I guess we didn't see that. Okay, we're gonna have to do this again. ID equals location ID. I don't actually use these IDs for anything, but it might help in the future. So I'm gonna keep it in. Title ID, like that. And then inside here we have title, like that. And then we'll see how this looks. Oh right, because we haven't rendered anything. And so then we're going to go to our main schedule here. Oh, I forgot, I shouldn't do that. Schedule / page. I'm actually going to add a script here, because we're going to need it. Script lang equals ts. And we are going to have what was originally in the website JSON, we're going to put in here. It's probably better to put it in in a lib file, but we're going to put it in here for now. Static schedule index.html. Okay. So I'll take this data. Const data is equal to JSON. Oh, I guess we don't need JSON.parse anymore, because then we can just take this as an object. Man, I need to add TypeScript support to this. Okay, a little bit too far. One more. I'm gonna take this, and then we can do our transformations on the data. I can find the data. So this is render amount point data, and then we can just take whatever we have here. I'm just gonna open this this template here. Sorry, I'm a little bit scattered, but once we open all the files, I think we'll be okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually open that. Okay. Do an ls on the buffers again, and then we can open up buffer 3, because this is where we need it. Okay, so looking at render, what it's doing is we have this template here, clone node, that's fine, we don't need to deal with this anymore. The title is important. So we can get the title here. Title, this one, with data.title, just like that. And so now we have the title here. Very good. And then is there anything else that we have on this side? I don't think so. Because then it's all the socials, which is all fine. And then it is just the event portion. I'm going to commit this. Not this one yet. Schedule render mean title. Alright, so now we have the title, we can go back to our events. And now that we have our events actually, then we can import this. Import, what's this? I think this is default export. So we can call this events from. No, this doesn't seem right. Event block. Sure, let's call it block. I don't like block. Okay, Svelte's. I think Svelte's convention is actually to use the same name. Yeah, the same name for that. But maybe I don't care enough. lib/events. Event.svelte. Okay, so from there, we can then use in here schedule events, a for loop for each, I think, logic, each blocks. Okay, it's just an each. Solve. Because I don't need to go through the tutorial again, just do it. So each color is as color I, so we want each event, or each events, data.events, data.something. Oh, it is data.events, okay. Data.events as events, because we only need the events. And then we can do /each to end the loop, and then inside we have event, events equals events. Like this. Failed to resolve import lib event svelte from that. Does the file exist? Do I do this? That's not right either. Right, because it's on our lib schedule events. There we go. That's what you're looking for. This is looking a lot more like the schedule that we have here. Just like that. So far so good. I think we can commit that. I'm going to see what we changed here. So we added this. Actually, I do want to see about this here. Mohammed, welcome in. Hello. So we have this here. We have the class. Interesting. Okay, no, that's fine. So yeah, we're just remaking my website in from the old Zola static site framework to Svelte, because I was not really using Zola. I ended up writing mostly HTML. And actually, what we're working on is the schedule portion, which is written completely in handwritten HTML in the static folder of the Zola the words. Well, it's basically just all handwritten HTML. So we're changing this over to Svelte, and so far we have two Svelte components. One is this main page, and then the other is this each of these events here. Okay, so now we can proceed with filling in the rest of these events. I did commit this, right? I think I did. Right, I was actually just looking at this. We have not committed yet. What code editor am I using? I'm using Vim. Slightly more customized, but it is Vim. Some people say I should switch to NeoVim, but Vim so far has suited me well enough. I don't find the need to switch. Okay, so we can commit this. Add schedule, add basic events, render basic events components. Sure. Yeah, I've been using Vim for about, I guess it's almost 10 years, or over 10 years now, because I think it started in 2012. And it's now 2024. So 11 to 12 years. Before then, I was using Programmer's Notepad, which I'm not sure has any updates these days, but it was a good editor. For some reason, I didn't like Notepad++. It might have been because it was too heavy or something. Comparatively speaking, anyway. Now everyone's using VS Code, which I guess is fine. I'm not a big fan of it being an Electron app. I don't need another browser running on my system. But it is kind of cool that you can run it on the browser. Okay, so I have this JSON blob here. And then we have the events being rendered as events. Now we just need to redo what we have here. So we have this local time, and then we have this UTC time. I think right now I'm not a big fan of how it's rendering. So this is just using the plain JavaScript methods, which we will do for now, because then it'll minimize the number of changes that we have. But you can see that this rendering is actually pretty inconsistent. We have Wednesday, January 24, 2024, and then 1930 UTC. So this part is intentionally there because this is the local part. I want to see the time zones. But then if you look at the UTC rendering, you have Thursday, 25th of January 2024. Whereas in the local part we have, well, I can't really see that. We have the month and the day switched, and this is in the spec. It's because these two are using two different date formats. I think one is using some RFC for emails, and then the other one is using something else. Kind of weird that way, but it is spec to be that way. Okay. So we've done the title, we've done the content, we've not done the content. I'll add this ID here. And then we have the dates, local, and the UTC. And we'll take this. And then figure out what exactly we need out of this. Because we don't need all of this. Over here. Yeah, and if you're wondering why there isn't any syntax highlighting in this portion, Vim does support nested syntaxes. It's just that it happens that the whatever syntax highlighter I'm using, the language file for it, doesn't recognize TypeScript. inside of Svelte. So we're stuck with this. But that's okay. There are some people who say that you should code without syntax highlighting anyway. So local time ID. So I don't need this. So we have an event fragment, local time container ID, which doesn't actually do anything. I don't know why I put that in there. We create a time element. Okay, sure. So we create a time element. Or we have date time is to ISO string. What is this? Date.toISO string. Okay, sure. And then this one is date.toString. And then this one, oh, and then we do a replacement here. We're probably going to extract this out into variables up top, just to make it a little bit nicer. And then we do the same thing for the UTC elements. So we take this, put that in, well, create the time element actually. Date time, date to ISO, that's fine. Then date.to UTC string now. And we replace GMT with UTC. And that should be it. We broke something. Event fragment is not defined. So actually, because we don't need any of this now. We just need the const date equals new dates. And now we render this. Alright, now we have recreated our schedule site. We could clean it up a little bit. Actually, no, this is the real schedule. Something's not quite right about this. If you notice, you have too much padding. I gotta figure out where that's coming from. And that has to do with the CSS. Gotta figure out which CSS here that I should have brought over. So this portion we probably need, because there's no hover style here on the anchor tag. Well, I mean, there are no anchor tags right now. That's a problem. This should have an anchor tag around it. And it's around here somewhere. Was it the event that I had the anchor tag around? Oh no, because I had if the link, then put it in the put it in an anchor tag. Oh, that makes sense. Well, I haven't done any of the link stuff yet. And then we have all of this stuff. .schedule.video ID. .locations. Schedule a hover. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff needs to be put in there. Schedule contents. I thought I moved all this stuff already. Okay, so no, I think I do need this. No, but we haven't even. Okay, so locations, fine. We don't have that yet. Video ID, we don't have that yet either. So what's wrong with this one? So you have div class content, sure. And we have this p. Our paragraphs have margins, which I got rid of in somewhere here. Margin 0, content p. There it is. Margin has no effect on table element. Display table row. Contents. Okay. So if that's the case, so I actually need to make this into a table row. That doesn't sound right. What am I looking at? That's the old one. So we render an event here. Where is our content? Table row? Where is this from? Oh, it's from here. Okay, so content is here. So that is a table row, which means it's already being applied here. Where is our dot content? Not that. Actually, ish that. That means that we have dot content here somewhere. Content. I messed this up. So I don't want the ID here. I want ID equals content ID, like that. Okay. Okay. So now this looks a little bit more okay. It's not quite what we want. Because this actually needs to go on the left. Why is this right aligned? Because the time label is right aligned. But I didn't change the template. What is this? Local time container etc time container time append. Interesting. Text align right on content time label. Content time label. I mean, it is right aligned because if you look at this, this is... Okay, no, something's a little bit wrong about this. So this here is our original schedule. And so we have this div here. Sure. Oh, this paragraph here, local time, UTC time. Sure. And then we have spanning class time label, and then we have time after that. Actually, this isn't right aligned, then why do we have this? The time label is right aligned. Oh, I see. Okay, no, I put this in the wrong spot. So we don't want the time inside of the span, we want the time outside of the span. In here. And I said, oh, that should render properly. And there we go. That looks proper. We're still missing a few things. So if we look at the original schedule, we have this YouTube ID marker, and then we have the links that we actually have to link to. But for now, we can commit. Schedule, render dates. Okay. And now, actually, I do want to see how this looks without JavaScript on. So let's turn off scripts. Hey, look at that. Still renders properly. This is what I wanted. Because if you turn off JavaScript in our current site, we just don't render anything at all because this is all client-side rendered. But the nice thing about Svelte is that it allows us to render on the server side, or like pre-render things, because we don't actually have a server in this case. So yeah, this is what we want. I committed. Yes, I committed. Okay. And then now we can deal with this location stuff, all the video IDs and the anchor tag that's around it. I actually don't know how to do that. I kind of do. I don't know how to wrap an element around conditionally, but I think we might want to just create another component for that. Okay, so we create a component. We call it source lib schedule maybe a I'll come up with a better name possibly. And so we have scripts. Oh, I don't want to. No, this is fine. Script length, yes. And then we can say that href exports let's href. And then we can say if href. I think that's it for Svelte anyway. It's hash if. Where did my I think I might have accidentally closed it. It's the regular Svelte docs. Element directives, not this one. Component directives, not this one either. Basic markup. No, special tags. Logic blocks, here we go, if. So if expression. So if that's else this slash if. So if we have an href, then we do a href and then the rest of the props. And $$ props, was it? Go back to the tutorial. And then we do props. Spread props. Not spread props. Maybe it was in here. Advanced bindings, actions, component composition, slots and name slots. No, that is not what I want. Declaring props. Maybe we should just look at the docs. Prop. No, I don't even show. Okay, we don't have that. Basic markup runtime, Svelte on mount before after. No, we don't need that. Maybe it's just time to look stuff up. Svelte, all props. I know I saw this in the docs somewhere. Default values, spread props. If you need a reference to all the props that were passed into a component, including the ones that weren't declared with export, you can do so by accessing the props directly. Okay. So I think this is what we want then. And we want to spread this. because we want to forward it. And then we have a slot here. Otherwise, we just have a slot here. I think this is correct. Component composition slots. So now we can put that stuff in there. Slot props. Components can pass data back to their slotted content via slot props. That's fine, I don't think we need to do that. Slot fallback. We also don't need to do that. Okay. So we should be fine in this case. I hope we can do multiple slots like this. And I'm going to rename this file to instead of maybe a, it's got conditional anchor. Belts. Because it makes a little bit more sense that way. So we have what? Imports conditional anchor from conditional anchor.svelte. And then we can wrap this in a conditional anchor. Nope, not like that. Wrap all this in a conditional anchor. href equals URL. Just like that. And I hope this works. Hey, look at that. We actually get anchors. And then just to test out the conditional portion, we can look at this and we can comment out one of the URLs. Aha! Very good. So this one does not have an anchor tag anymore. It is just a regular div. Whereas the other ones do have anchor tags. Nice. Okay. Let me put this back. Did I change anything other than that? Just the conditional anchors, okay. Wrap events in conditional anchors. Alright, and then we are going to deal with this, this video stuff up there. To begin with, we have this URL. No, so this is the conditional anchor. But we do want the other URLs here. No, we want this URL here. So if we have one, then we create a social icon with an image. So this is an image. And then we also have the video ID, which we're going to have to parse out. So we'll start with the image. So this is source. So the width equals 16. Height equals 16. And then source is this for now. And then alt equals YT. Now this is all supposed to change in the future. This is just a placeholder. Mostly because all I do is stream on YouTube anyway, except for the 2 times that I streamed on or simul streamed on Twitch for the or the Super Streamer lobby on Tetrio. I'll take this video ID and take its locations. Cut that out. This needs to go in here. The Svelte has scoped styles, which means that anything from the other what do you call it? The other components will not affect any of the child components, and it won't leak. So it encourages encapsulation, I suppose. Okay, so we put this in here because we are using SAS and we can do this. Nesting is very nice. Alright, so that's good. And then in here, we do want to extract out this this video ID. So, const video ID is equal to, and this only counts if we have a URL. So there was a thing in Svelte that says that if you, for the ifs, you can, where do we learn about ifs? You can bind certain names locally to the ifs. Bindings, text inputs. No, these are two-way bindings. We don't want that one. Inline handlers, then we have the logic, the if blocks. Here we go. Count as 10. The else blocks. Okay, else if each. We had already done that one. Heeds each, which we don't necessarily care about. And then we await blocks. The promises, we don't need those. Okay, whatever. I guess we'll just have it here. So we want to render out the video ID, but only if there is a video ID. So we'll wrap this in an if. Wrap that in if. Originally we had it guarded on URL, which is fine. We might realistically speaking, it's we should probably be guarding it on video ID, but it's fine. So const video ID. We get this parsed URL, new URL from that. And really this should go in some sort of library function. But I'm going to keep this in here for now just for simplicity. And then we get this parsed URL dot search params dot gets v. And then we can inline this. Like so. And now we don't need this. And hopefully that just works. Class list, add video ID. Something seems a little bit off about this. So the video element, we create a span. So it says here we create a span with class video ID. I think that matches a lot better. Okay. So now we've rendered the video ID, which is good. What is this? This is Render main video ID. Schedule. Render event main video ID. Alright, so now we can pull in the styles. So in our original schedule we had hover styles. This one doesn't. That's because we didn't port them over. And they're around here somewhere. Schedule.a or schedule A hover. Like so. But I want this for that here, or for this here too. So we might want to consider popping this wholesale. Into here. It's not quite right. Color inherit, text decoration none. You should have text decoration. Oh, dot schedule. Okay, so I can get rid of this. Because I no longer need that. And then now I can, because this is SAS, I can move this inside and just do hover and focus. Like this. That's still not right. Go to the anchor tab. Am I putting this in the right one? This is events. Do we have any anchor tag? Oh, it's the conditional anchor. Ah. How do you pierce through Svelte events or Svelte components? Svelte style style components. Style child components. How does one target the components? You need to pass props to the parent component with the export let, then tie those props to a class or style in the child component. Okay. No, I guess that's fine. We're already passing. Global is the simplest solution. No need to specify a class in the child if you want to style all immediate children, for example. Ah, interesting. Update for 2023. You can wrap your style tags in Svelte heads and put them in the head. I don't think we want to be doing that. The documented way is through CSS variables, which yes, but also no. Okay. So in our case, we can probably just make this a link. Or, yeah, we can pass this a class. Or, we can actually just make that, do the global thing. Where did I see it? Global. And now we just, well, we have this conditional anchor here. How do you refer to the current components? I guess it's not necessary, because we can just have a class on this thing. Event anchor. Sure. a.events anchor. Because you only have one anchor tag anyway. That's not right. No. Not quite right. So we do have the A class here. So what's wrong? I think our CSS is off then, if that's the case. We go to our style editor, we have our inline sheets. One of these surely contains it. Interesting. So for some reason it just doesn't... It removes the A tag? Why? Interesting. So class event here, class event anchor. I don't want to wrap this in a container though. Classes and styles. Often you need to influence the styles inside a child component. Perhaps you want to make these boxes red, green, and blue. One way to do this is with the global CSS modifier, which allows you to indiscriminately target elements inside other components. Lots of reasons not to do that. So this is what they said, the custom property, which we don't want to do. We can set it on individual components. Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. That works if you have very specific very specific styles, but if conditional anchor is supposed to be a generic container, then we can't be having that. I don't like this, but we may have to do it. That is the thing. It did work, but at the sacrifice of making something global. Is there any way we can scope it to just this component here? Does this work? Probably not. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Okay, I guess we'll just have to put up with that then. A.event anchor. That's fine. We'll put up with that. Is this how it was in the original? It's not quite as blue in the original. It is blue for this one, but it's not blue for these ones. So there's something wrong here. Oh, we missed porting over some styles. Hot tracking color. Schedule content. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this just isn't working properly for the real schedule. Because I remember, okay, so this says that the color should be hot tracking color, but it isn't. Color inherits, but I'm hovering over it. color is hot tracking color, but then your colors inside are not. Dot events var info text. Alright, let's find info text. Oh, you know what this is? This might be an order issue. Put this up top instead. I don't know where this was originally. But if we put it over here, because order matters in CSS, it may be that since we had it at the bottom, it was overriding. I guess not. Okay. It was overriding anything else, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, let's look into the CSS again a little bit more. And after this, we're probably going to end. It's been 3 hours. My voice is starting to hurt. How to find that CSS file. Where are we? We are in websites. Oh, we're farther down. Okay. I would use the tree. That seems to be hanging Vim at the moment, or last time we tried, so I'm not doing that. We want to go to websites, Zola, and then in here we have static. Where we had this as a buffer, maybe I should check the buffers. Penbu CSS. Okay, so I put it right after the. I put it first. Makes sense. So if I put this here, then event should override it. Is it awful that it turns blue? I don't know. I don't think so. It might be okay. Oh, right, because of Svelte, we have increased specificity on this dot event here. Right, because we have dot event and then dot s dot s dot. This is 4. Whereas with the original, with the A tags that we had here, that's just 2. A dot event anchor. And it's not even 2, that's just 1 plus. Well, 1 class and one element. Ooh, that sounds a little bit problematic. But you know what? This is fine. I don't think I'm too concerned. I think I might be okay with this. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that as is. I don't care enough to try to make it exactly the same. Render schedule make event a link if URL is defined. If event URL is defined. Okay. Well, this is the schedule. Well, no, this is the real schedule. This is the new schedule, which looks more or less the same as what we have here, which is very nice. The only difference is the hover for the links, but I'm okay with this blue here. We'll see how I feel about it tomorrow, but I'm otherwise okay with this blue. There are some other cleanup things that we could do, because now that we have Svelte, we could turn these SVGs into Svelte SVGs and do something nicer with them. because right now they're all just images, which is fine. But then they don't change colors, and changing colors is nice. But okay, I think we'll end it there. Just have a look at the other thing that we have is this, which we kind of didn't finish. But I think for this one, it is also mostly just copy and paste. You just gotta reverse engineer what happened in Juice and go from there. But the schedule, this is all good. I think this only takes a little bit more polish, and then this is probably good to go. Is there going to be a part 2? We might do one next week. We'll see. I don't have a lot of ideas for the programming slot anyway, because the Owl Fudge project is slightly on hold because it's waiting on a couple of things. Partially the tests that I still need to do, because I don't want to do that on stream, because otherwise it's kind of redundant content and slow content that I don't want to put out. Maybe we do it on Twitch. We'll see. I feel like I should do a Twitch stream like once a month or something, just to make sure that it's somewhat active. Anyway, looking ahead to what the next stream is, as you can see in the schedule, we have arranging Suisei's pieces. We'll load up this this video here, and since I have the link, I may as well paste it in chat. Still muted in progress, looking good. Well, you can't hear this, but if you look at the VODs, yeah, it is looking pretty good. Thanks. But yeah, I mean, this is what it looks like for the main portion. We kind of just skipped it. But yeah, tomorrow we have arranging pieces, the third in our series. Pieces here being Suisei's Lost Song. It's really unfortunate, but it is up to us fans to keep it alive. Yeah. So we will see you for that, hopefully. It's going to be at the same time as before, 7:30 Eastern. And I can show this off in the schedule because we are working on the schedule. But yeah, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow, and that's midnight at, or 12:30 midnight on Saturday at UTC time. Yes, okay. Whatever, I think that's fine. We are good to go. I'm gonna push this up while I still remember. Get pushed new. We're not gonna merge this in yet. It's not done. We're probably gonna work on this next week again. Right. I think my password expired. Let me grab that. There we go. So that is all up on GitHub now. The link is in the description if you want to go check that out. Yeah, maybe we'll work on this next week. Maybe I'll do this on my own. We'll probably work on this next week because I don't think I'm going to end up working on this on my own. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and see you next stream for arranging pieces. Good night, chats. Yes, good night. Also, for any new people coming here, if you're not in the Discord, come join. The link is in the description.